All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Okay, guys, so Bitcoin, after the live stream yesterday, Bitcoin continued to drop, and we did break below our key value area low that was coming in around 111K to 110.8K, which is the level we were looking for a local support if Bitcoin was going to continue and push up to come up and to hit that pitchfork band and that daily level at 115.2, but we did not. We just broke straight through it, and we continued down. And what I was looking for at on the live stream as well yesterday, we said that if we do lose 110.8, I definitely think we're going to come down and take out our weekend lows, our Sunday lows that we're at 107.4. And you can see that's exactly what happened. We continued to grind down overnight. We SFP'd those weekend lows, and we did get a small rise off of that, but it was only a lower high in the making. And we did have some bearish CVD that was developing. If we look at our CVD here, higher highs in the CVD here, higher highs in the CVD, and lower highs in the open interest. Actually, from this high right here, you can see this high is right here. We are on the verge of developing bearish CVDs. Now, that is on a decline of open interest, so it's not bearish CVD absorption, it's bearish CVD divergence. And we also had some local bearish CVD in here earlier today. Higher highs in the CVD, lower highs in the price action gave us this little bit of a dump here. But Bitcoin is at our support level of that swing failure pattern into the anchored VWAP. Also, in yesterday's live stream, I was talking about how we did on Monday front run that anchored VWAP, the actual touching of the anchored VWAP on all exchanges. Coinbase was the closest, but on all exchanges, we had front run that anchored VWAP. And that if we had lost 110.8K, we were going to continue down to actually touch that anchored VWAP for support. So we are just chopping around right now. The golden pocket, anchored VWAP, or actually, I don't know if it was a golden pocket, anchored VWAP, and let's see, was that our golden pocket? Golden pocket. Yeah, it was our golden pocket, our anchored VWAP, and our Sunday lows. And we are just hanging out right around this area of support right now. It's trying to hold, but it's not looking too strong. I do have to say we do have some potential bullish divergences forming here. You can see lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the momentum waves, and NAMI as well, higher lows on the momentum waves. And we even have very slight, at least between these two lows that we made today, very slight bullish divergence on the money flow on the 1 hour chart. But losing that 110.8K value area low was a very, very crucial thing. This value area low that's coming in right around 110.8, now it's actually shifted down to about 110,650, 110,600. That was bad news. And today we're about to close the candle in 3 minutes. The daily closes in 3 minutes. It looks like we are going to close below that area, and we do now have a new daily level on the chart that is about to print. It's going to be at 110,568. If we go on to our daily chart here, you can see that new daily level. I've marked it out already because it's very unlikely that we reclaim that by 2 minutes from now, 3 minutes from now. But that is going to be our level of resistance. Now, our local level of resistance is going to be that 110,600-ish level. If we do bounce, if we are going to kind of be able to grind in here and hold this level of support, and we can actually see a bounce here, I am going to be looking at the bearish backtest of not only the new daily level, but that value area low. And if we do reject from that, that will be a short position for me to come take out our lows that were created last Friday, October 17th. And that would be a very bearish sign for Bitcoin that on this push to the upside that we've gotten, this corrective move, whether this you call this a WXY correction, this corrective move we got to the upside. First of all, we did reject from very, very key volume resistance, very key anchored VWAP resistance. You can see all three of our key anchored VWAPs were aligning in this general area, and rejecting from that area and then losing not only the pitchfork again, but losing the value area low of the range again is a bearish sign. That means it's more likely that lower targets are coming. Also, if we look on the 4 hour time frame, on the 4 hour time frame, money flow is draining out of the asset again. Money flow draining out of the asset again on NAMI, and we did print a bear div signal here on NAMI as well on the 4 hour. So it's not looking too good for Bitcoin. We might hold and get a small rise to make a lower high and reject from 110.8. But overall, I do think it's likely that this downtrend continues of lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Excuse me. Yeah. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And now we're going to come down and do a lower low. And we do have some key support around 111 or 101K. We have a naked daily point of control and a daily level at around 101K, where we could see a bounce from that area. And then, of course, we do have a naked daily point of control around 105. But for me, I do think a new low is most likely in the works here. If we go zoom out onto the daily time frame, you can see on the daily time frame our money flow on market cipher B is now leaving the asset again, and also on NAMI it is leaving the asset again, showing that this rejection from a key volume resistance most likely continues the overall downtrend that we've been seeing for the past couple of weeks. So no long positions for me right now. I'm not longing this level of support because I just haven't seen. Now with the SFP, I didn't catch this, but if you would have taken the SFP of the lows from earlier today, from early this morning, we did just a couple hours ago, SFP those lows, that would have been a nice entry for me. SFP the low, now you get back above, you can, look at a scalp, even up to 110.8, your stop's going to go below that low. You can look up that 10.5 scalp trade there, risk reward ratio. But I didn't catch that. I missed that. So I'm not in any long positions. I am still looking to enter long positions. I'll be looking for the swing failure pattern of last Friday's lows, or 2 Fridays. No, that was last Friday. Last Friday's lows. And I'll be looking at coming down to that 101K area for a potential scalp long opportunity. But for now, we have to say that market structure is remaining bearish, making lower lows and lower highs. So the trend is bearish, and we could probably expect new lows to come in on the charts. It looks like today, which we did just have the daily candle close, and we are closing. Let me go ahead and clean up this chart just a bit here. I'm going to now get rid of some of this on the chart. We did just close our daily candle right at the anchored VWAP. So if you want to be bullish, if you want to have your bull glasses on, we technically still have not quite lost the anchored VWAP. You can see daily candle just opened, and we are still holding above this anchored VWAP. So in the very bullish scenario, we are going to hold this, and we are going to break back above the value area low again, find reacceptance back into that range, and continue up to 117.5, 117.6, where you can see if some time elapsed for that, in order for that to happen, we would have that POC be in alignment with your pitchfork band. And if we can reclaim inside the pitchfork band, it's a high likelihood we can move to test that upper part of the lower band. So very key to see what's going to happen over the next day or two. But flirting around with this anchored VWAP the way we are, it just looks to me like we could lose it and we could start dumping to lower targets. So of course, 101K is going to be a level for me to be watching, but the big level on the chart is really that 96.5K area. And that is where our 2025 value or point of control is coming in. If you look at all of 2025's fair value for Bitcoin, this volume profile, we have now found reacceptance back down below the value area high of the range, of our macro range. The value area high is coming in around 117K. And so now that we've found acceptance for a couple weeks underneath the value area high, we do have a high likelihood of continuing down to that POC, which is going to be 96.5, 96.6 in that general area. What that would mean for Bitcoin, though, is it's losing its key volume trend support, being this anchored VWAP. And even if we come down there and we bounce from there, we would need to watch for a rejection from that anchored VWAP before even continuing to fill the volume profile, even coming down to 91K. So that's what I'll be looking for. I'll keep you guys updated in the live streams. I'll keep you guys updated in the videos that I make like today. But it's not looking too good for Bitcoin. Very low time frame here. We are, starting to get that rise in money flow a little bit here. We do have some bull divs on the chart, and we could get a rise to 110.6. But I'll be looking if we continue to see bearish signs, bearish confirmations at 110.6 or 110.568. where our value area low and daily level is, then I probably will look for a short there. Okay, before moving on to the other altcoins, I do want real quickly want to shout out the partners of the channel. The main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. They are offering, if you use my affiliate link, up to minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees. And depending on how much you deposit, you can actually earn up to 40% discounts on trading fees if you deposit some of the larger amounts. They're also offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move in the futures markets. And they're also offering some really great initial deposit bonuses if you do deposit with them. Uh, for instance, if you deposit just $100, you'll get a 50% deposit bonus. That's about the highest I've seen anywhere around. And then they're offering various 10 to 20% deposit bonuses depending on what amount you deposit there. But really good, very competitive deposit bonuses. Some of them are beating everyone else in the game. Also, I've partnered with ByteFi to create a Telegram community where I do post my trade setups and my analysis ahead of time. And if you're interested in getting that analysis when it's not optimal to stream or make a video, then you can sign up to that Telegram. It's free. All you need to do is open a ByteFi account using my affiliate link and deposit at least $100 into that account. That $100 is your money to trade with. You will get the discounts on trading fees. You will get the bonus. And then once you've done that, you can click the link in this video for the Telegram, and inside that Telegram link, type in /verify and then your user ID, which will be a string of letters and numbers up here, and that'll get you access to that Telegram community. So if you're interested in that, that's ByteFi, partnered with them for Telegram. The next partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. And NAMI is this momentum and money flow indicator that I use for entry and exit confirmations on my trades. Really crucial for me in my trading. I use it, for instance, as we're coming down here to our support level. We are seeing some bull divs on the chart, but with the money flow looking as bearish as it is, I am not quite ready to take the long. So it can really it can get you in or out of certain trades, help you take profit. And if you're interested in purchasing NAMI, they are doing a 50% off special if you use my affiliate link. Divine50 is the discount code, and both the discount code and the link to sign up with NAMI is in the description. Then lastly, the last two partners of the channel are MEXC and Bybit, both great reputable exchanges. If you do sign up using my affiliate link, you'll get discounts on trading fees, and you can earn up to thousands of dollars in futures bonuses depending on how much you trade in those futures markets. So good way to help out the channel. Also, please hit the like button if you guys get anything out of the technical analysis in this video, any sort of insight into the market. Please hit the like button. And let's now get back on to the altcoins. So we'll cover ETH here. ETH real quick. In yesterday's live stream, we were looking at ETH coming down to this golden pocket area where it was going to be a swing failure pattern of Monday's lows, very similar to Bitcoin. Instead of Sunday lows, we were also looking at Sunday's lows too, but we were looking for a swing failure pattern of Sunday's lows into your golden pocket. And you can see we did get a little bit of a bounce off of that, but it was short-lived, and now we're breaking down through. We've broke down. I actually did say in yesterday's live stream too, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually dropped to touch the bottom of the pitchfork band before really getting that reclaim. But we really are not seeing that. And we've dropped down even to the value area low of the range. We're continuing to kind of chop around the value area low. We are getting a decent bounce from the value area low right now. But until we can reclaim these prior lows, I do think this bearish trend is going to continue. So if we do come up here right now and reject our prior lows, I do think we will continue pushing down and at least come take out last Friday's lows at 3,600-ish, 36, let's see, what is that? 3674. And it's likely though, and I remember talking about this in Tuesday's live stream as well, because we did, and Wednesday's video, because we did front run the weekly and the naked daily point of control down here in our box of support. We did hit the 0.5 Fibonacci, and we did hit the bottom of our pitchfork band. But because we had front run a very key weekly and naked daily point of control, I've been saying all week I would not be surprised if we do drop down one more time to kind of hit that weekly level and hit that naked daily point of control, having a swing failure pattern from the crash lows into that weekly. And that for me, if we do get a confirmed swing failure pattern after bouncing off our weekly, that would be a definite long position for me. Now, of course, it would be nice to also see bull divs there. If we do see some bull divs giving us confirmation, I would absolutely take that trade. And so for me, I am looking at two possible trades on Ethereum. The SFP of last Friday's lows at 36.74, and then the SFP of the crash lows right around 3,500, 34.97 to 34.89. But I would not take the long until we reclaim those lows. That's how you trade a swing failure pattern. Now, to the upside on Ethereum, you can see we did take out our range highs of this small range here, the small push up. We took out the highs, grabbed the liquidity, and now we've dropped back. We're dropping back down. If we look at our naked daily points of controls here, let's turn that on real quickly. We do have a naked daily point of control from the candle that just closed, from the daily candle that just closed at 38.46. But for me, it's not. We could see a fake out rise to that area and reject, and that would be pretty much a rejection from the golden pocket as well that we broke through today. So just be aware of that. And then to the downside, there's really no naked daily points of controls until we get down to our 34.89 level. So be aware, it does look like Ethereum is going to continue dropping as well. We don't really have much bull divs on the chart either. We do have slight bull divs here, lower lows in the price action and higher lows in the momentum waves here. But your money flow looks pretty bearish here. And on NAMI, we do not really have bull divs between these two highs. They're more equal lows, or equal lows. If we zoom out onto the 4-hour chart, on the 4-hour chart, money flow is crossing over into the red again, and then as well on NAMI. And we did print a bear div earlier today. So it just like Bitcoin, it looks like Ethereum might continue pushing down a little bit further. And I told you guys the two levels I'm looking at is the SFP of last Friday's lows and the SFP of the crash lows. But that's about it for Ethereum. If we go now onto Solana, with Solana, we did reject that golden pocket and that naked weekly point of control. I pointed this out in yesterday's live stream, and I pointed this out in the video. Is actually no, it was only yesterday's live stream. We came up hit here, and we were looking at that 182 level. At 182, we had a daily level. So if I turn on our dailies, you can see we had that daily level that was front run on Monday. Let me zoom into the 1-hour chart here. On Monday, we did front run that daily level into our box of support. And so yesterday we were speculating on coming back down to actually tap that daily level and then kind of get back and push back up. Now we did get a swing failure pattern of Monday's lows into that daily level right here on this candle this morning. And we got a small push up, but we couldn't even break above the pitchfork band, the top of the pitchfork band. So for me, I didn't long that either. I wasn't ready to long that. And we've now crashed down. You can see we're around our two key anchored VWAPs and our 786. But more importantly is these anchored VWAPs. So let me go ahead and zoom out again. We'll zoom out onto the 8-hour chart. We have our very key anchored VWAPs. One of them is coming in from our all-time high here. And the other anchor VWAP, let me clean this chart up. Where are we at here? All right, anchored VWAP from the $96 lows and the anchored VWAP from our all-time highs. You can see both anchored VWAPs are coming in where we're bouncing from today, where we're trying to attempt to bounce from. And what I want to show you guys that's really important is the last two times we came down and hit these anchored VWAPs. Yes, we saw wicks past it on the daily time frame, but they were ultimately able to hold, and we got a nice trade, at least to push up. They ultimately resulted in lower highs here, but they gave us a nice push up. Now, we could be about to break this sort of triangle down. If we do not hold the anchored VWAP this time, we could push up from this anchored VWAP to come up and hit this triangle trend line and then finally break down. I haven't longed yet on Solana, but it's not dire yet because we haven't lost the anchored VWAPs. Now, if we lose the anchored VWAPs, I will look for a fake out, the SFP of both last Friday's lows and the crash lows. And then if we reclaim, I will look for a long. But really, Solana's not looking too good either. We don't even have bull divs here. You can see higher lows through all of this and higher lows through all this. So no bull divs here on Solana. And if we zoom into the hourly chart here on Solana, no bull divs on the hourly, no bull divs here. So even though we're getting a bounce, I'm not too hopeful. It could be just a small bounce. Excuse me. It could be just a small bounce to take out the highs from earlier today or from yesterday. Yeah, earlier today, excuse me, earlier today. And then we could continue pushing down to SFP. Uh, Everything is looking kind of bearish for me. If we pull a volume profile and we look at this range that Solana has developed, we're right around the value area low. And yes, we saw a deviation into our anchored VWAPs. We're starting to reclaim the value area low. But once again, watch out for either a rejection from the POC or a rejection from the top of the pitchfork band, taking out today's highs into the top of the pitchfork band right around 187.5. Not too interested in any trades here on Solana until we SFP the lows. If we SFP the lows at 172.78, I'll look for a long. Or if we do come down and hit the bottom of the pitchfork around 165, I might look for a long from there if we're seeing bull divs as we come down to 165. But other than that, not looking for too much else on Solana. Turning on our naked daily points of controls, you can see that we do have that naked daily point of control from the candle that just closed at about 184.69. That for me would be a potential rejection area as well because it's close to our range POC. Naked daily point of control to regular range point of control, 184 to about 184.69. And then if we get back above that, we might be able to make a rise back up to the naked daily point of control at 194. Other than that, not looking at too much on Solana. If we bounce from this value area low, then I will miss the trade. Not too interested in taking anything because we don't have confirmations. Now, yes, we are bouncing into key support, or we're dropping into key support of the anchored VWAPs, the very two key anchored VWAPs, and this could give us a nice push up. Okay, that's it for Solana. Let's go on to SUI. For SUI, we're also just rejecting the value area low of the range. We talked about this in yesterday's live stream. And because we were rejecting the value area low of our larger range, this is our multi-month range. Let me zoom out here onto the 4-hour chart. This is our range that goes back to November of 2024. It's looking bearish for me. And I said this in yesterday's live stream when somebody asked about this in the live stream yesterday. Anytime you lose a range like this and you come up for a bearish backtest and you find multiple low time frame rejections, it's likely that you continue the downtrend. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we continue the downtrend all the way to the pitchfork midline around $1.95, $1.96. But more locally, we can look at this smaller range since the crash a couple Fridays ago. And if we pull this range to current day, you can see we are actually around the value area low right now. But the thing is, we haven't taken out the liquidity from last Friday's lows. So for me, I'm not interested in taking a long on SUI unless we SFP the 228 lows. If we pull a golden pocket from last Friday's lows to the highs that we saw, we are breaking down below the golden pocket right now. And actually, if we look at our 786 as well, we're hovering around the 786. One thing that I will say about altcoins, they do tend to bounce more from the 786 than from the golden pocket. So we are at our local level of support. If SUI is going to make a higher low from last Friday's lows, this is the area it's going to do it. We do have some bull divs on the chart. Lower lows in the price action, higher lows in the momentum waves. Actually, triple drive here. And money flow is starting to bottom out. So yes, SUI absolutely could see a little bit of a bounce here. If we do bounce here on SUI, then I would be just looking at pulling a golden pocket from the rejection of yesterday, down to the lows that we made today. And I would be looking around our golden pocket. The pitchfork band at 251 is also a level that I would be watching. And let's look at our naked daily points of controls that just closed. Okay, no naked daily points of controls, really. I mean, It's just underneath us. So, but for SUI, I'm not too interested in trading anything except for the swing failure pattern of 228. And yeah, I don't even know if I'd be interested in this golden pocket now anymore because our POC is now shifted down. So for me, really a long of 228. If we do start to bounce now, we do have some bull divs. We could bounce now. Just I would just be playing the range then and looking towards coming up towards the top of the pitchfork band around 266, where our larger range value area low is in confluence with the top of the pitchfork band. Pretty much where we rejected the last three times. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Top of the pitchfork band, value area low back test. So if we do bounce and have one more rotation, I'd be looking for another rejection. Possibly a swing failure pattern. But that's it for Sui. Not too much else. Kind of a slow day, kind of a slow bleed down here. I really would like to see us keep dropping. And if we do, we are kind of forming this consolidation pattern here on Sui, like this sideways range after a big drop. And usually when you form a sideways range after a big drop, you get continuation down. So for me, the real good level to long would be the SFP of the crash lows into that pitchfork midline at 196 to 195. And I'd want to see bull divs also. On to Say. Say is continuing to drop as well. We really rejected the pitchfork midline yesterday. We talked a little bit about Say yesterday in the live stream, but off the rejection of the pitchfork midline, we are now, if we pull this range here, and let me make sure this is pulled correctly. Yeah, we're now losing the value area low as well. So for me, it's likely that we do continue down to take out the crash lows at 1718. I actually do think this does look like a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get our complex double zigzag correction in here, and we could be looking at another impulse down here in a bigger ABC correction. So for me, I'm looking at taking out those lows. And if we pull a trend-based Fibonacci extinction, the highs to the lows to these lower highs, yeah, we could even drop to like 16 cents where we do have our one-to-one Fibonacci extinction target. Let's check out here to see if we have any other levels there. Let's go on to our daily chart. Yeah, we do have a daily that's sitting underneath there that has not been tapped yet. That daily's 16.6. So let's put that daily on there. And then I want to look at our naked weekly points of controls. Okay, no naked weekly points of controls down there. Okay. Yeah, so for me, an SFP into the daily would be nice. I would look for that if we came down, we took out the lows, hit the daily, and then reclaimed our crash lows. I would look for a long from that area. As soon as we reclaim the crash lows after bouncing from the daily level. But until then, I'm not interested. Money flow is bearish here. Bearish money flow. Hidden bear div printed on that lower high yesterday on, say, on the daily time frame. So it looks like more downside. And also, as far as pitchfork trading goes, guys, we did reject. Let me clean up this chart just a little bit here. After rejecting the upper band multiple times, upper band rejection, upper band rejection, upper band rejection, upper band rejection. 4 times we rejected the upper band, then we broke the band down, and then we back tested rejection 2 times in here on the bottom of the upper band. Now that we fell through the pitchfork midline, we're back testing that bearishly and we're rejecting. So it's likely we come make new lows. As far as just pitchfork trading goes, trade level to level. Multiple rejections from the upper band, you expect to move down to the midline. If you lose the midline, you actually can expect maybe to move down to the lower band. And so we could drop down to the lower band again. I wouldn't want to see it drop that aggressive right away, but that is something that we need to be aware of. Okay, that is it for Say. Let's go on to XRP. Now, XRP is just chopping sideways. We're still forming that sideways kind of consolidation triangle that a lot of these altcoins are forming. And I would just look at this range. After the crash ended, you pull a volume profile, you look at this range. We're at the value area low. We're seeing a small bounce from the value area low, but we have rejected the value area high twice of this range. And we did reject on the dead cat bounce, we rejected the two key anchored VWAPs. So now we are finding a lot of a range form underneath our key anchored VWAPs. To me, that tells me that more downside is actually likely and that we are going to come down eventually and take out last Friday's lows at 218.71. So I would be looking for a long position from taking out of last Friday's lows from a swing failure pattern. But more locally, if we pull a Fibonacci from the range lows to the dead cat bounce highs that we had earlier today, not earlier today, excuse me, from the Monday's highs, you can see we're finally coming down, hitting that golden pocket and the value area low, but we did not take out our liquidity from Sunday. So for me, if we do come down one more time and take out that Sunday low and reclaim and get back inside the volume profile, I would look for a long from there. 231-ish pretty much, 231.5. I would look for long if we SFP and reclaim. Now, there's a potential we could bounce right now because we have hit the golden pocket and the value area low, and we are getting a nice reaction there. But if we do, then let's look at our naked daily points of controls real quick. If we do bounce, then the naked daily point of control that just closed about 25 minutes ago is going to be in confluence with your range point of control. And watch for the rejection from that naked daily point of control because it could just be a small dead cat bounce from the value area low before actually coming down and taking out last Friday's lows. So be very aware of that. We actually even have a naked daily point of control that's down below, and that's going to be close to your 786. And that would be a scalp long opportunity for me as well. This area in here would be a potential scalp long opportunity if we continue to develop bull divs as we're coming down there. And the reason why I say that is because all coins like to bounce from that 786 a lot. Turn that off. So if we continue, bounce from here, reject here, SFP, reject, and we come down and we form bull divs as we're coming down there, then I would probably look for at least a scalp long opportunity. Naked daily point of control and 786. Did I delete that? Okay, but other than that, just trade the range until it breaks. We are at the bottom of the range, but I don't like how we didn't take the liquidity from the weekend low. Unlike Solana, unlike Bitcoin, unlike Ethereum. Okay, on to lastly Chainlink. Chainlink is still just chopping within our kind of triangle formation as well. We covered this in yesterday's live stream. We are at the bottom of the pitchfork band, and we're attempting to kind of hold it or very locally reclaim it after we lost it a couple hours ago, reclaim it and continue pushing higher. But for me, I would actually be looking if we pull a Fibonacci from last Friday's lows to the highs on Monday, and we look at that 786. That 786 is going to be coming in at the bottom of our triangle, of our symmetrical triangle, and also it would be taking out the liquidity from Sunday's lows. Liquidity from Sunday's lows into that 786. So for me, that is a local support level where I would be potentially interested in looking for long because we could be just chopping around within this triangle for a bit. Now, if we lose that 16.4 area, then I would probably be looking only at two things, the SFP of last Friday's lows at 15.7. But ultimately, I do think, and I said this yesterday in the live stream, so if you want to see more in-depth information, go check out yesterday's live stream on Chainlink. But I do think we can drop down to 14. And what that's based on, if we zoom out to higher time frames, like an 8-hour time frame here, we're chopping around and forming a range within the pitchfork band. I've talked about these ranges that form in pitchfork bands over and over and over on the channel. But if we lose the pitchfork band, then we have a high likelihood to continue down to the bottom of the pitchfork. And the bottom of the pitchfork is going to be in confluence with our macro point of control. Now that we are finding acceptance, let me clean up this chart. Now that we are finding acceptance back underneath the value area high at 20.7, there is a likelihood that we could continue down to the point of control, which is 14.3 to about $14. And that would be a potential swing long opportunity for me if we do get down there with some nice bull divs. I'd want to see bull divs on like intermediate and even high time frames. And it is setting up like we could see some if we get that quick flush down there. We could be seeing some nice bull divs on the chart here. But for now, it's looking kind of bearish. We are at the base of the pitchfork band. And if we pull that volume profile, let me just scroll up here and get rid of that. We are at the value area low in the bottom of the pitchfork band. So, yeah, there is a potential we could get a small bounce from here. No bull divs, though. Bitcoin has bull divs on the hour. Some of these altcoins do not have bull divs on the 1 hour. If we do get a bounce from here, I would simply be looking up towards that anchored VWAP at the top of the pitchfork band around 18.4 to 18.3. And also, if we pull our golden pocket from Monday's highs to today's lows, golden pocket, you can see the golden pocket is right where that anchored VWAP is and very close to the top of the pitchfork band. So that would be a very, very local resistance level if we bounce now. If we don't bounce now, I wouldn't be looking for that. But that's about it for today, guys. If you got anything out of the video, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. I will be live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you there, and have a good day.